Not long ago, I was interviewing Smithsonian herpetologist Brian Gratwick about his work saving endangered frogs in Central and South America. And after we talked about that, he mentioned that he had dug some little vernal pools right in his backyard in Virginia. And they're more like puddles than ponds. They dry up for much of the year. But amphibians like spotted salamanders and wood frogs are obligate vernal pool breeders, meaning they rely on pools like that. They turn up their little noses at bigger pools that might have fish in them because the fish would eat their eggs and tadpoles. So they breed only in little fishless pools. So I said, cool, I want my own salamander pool. Can you send me pictures of what you're doing? And Brian sent me this video clip.
Hey Bob, Brian Gratwick here. You wanted to have a look at some of my vernal pools. These are some of my most recently constructed pools. So they've got a little boardwalk to go through. Here's the first vernal pool that I dug. So you see it's not very big, about 10 feet wide. And it's also not very deep, but it's full of eggs and tadpoles. The white ones are spotted salamander eggs, and the little black dots are wood frog tadpoles swimming around with the spotted salamander eggs in the background.
Now, Brian lives in Virginia, out in the boondocks, and I'm inside the Washington Beltway where it's much more urban. But my little yard has some woods around it, so maybe there are some frustrated frogs and salamanders out there, just looking for a love nest. So I picked a spot where it's usually kind of wet and boggy, and I dug a ditch just like Brian told me to do. But it didn't hold any water at all. It just all drained out. So then I'm like, I am not giving up. I'm in it now. So I bought a 10-foot pond liner. It's 45 mils thick. And I spread it out over my ditch and I filled it up and bam, I've got a pond now. And it was that easy. And so here it is. I stuck these boards over it to discourage deer from stepping in it with their sharp little hooves. And poking holes in it. So, and they haven't done that yet. It's been about 2 weeks since I finished it. Still no frogs or salamander eggs. But not surprisingly, there are mosquito eggs and larvae. And there's no better way to get your neighbors and spouse mad at you than breeding swarms of bloodthirsty mosquitoes. And I can't put mosquito-eating fish in there because then the frogs and the salamanders won't come. Fortunately, I have these mosquito dunks and pellets that are packed with a bacteria called Bacilla thuringiensis. And those little bacteria attack mosquito larvae before they can metamorphose into mosquitoes. And the pond had a lot of larvae in it just a few days ago, but since I added these dunks, all but the tiny little newborn mosquito larvae are dead, and they'll be dead within 48 hours. And also, the bacteria specialize on mosquitoes and won't harm people or pets or wildlife or, of course, frogs and salamanders. So I'm not calling this done quite yet. I'm shooting for 5 stars from amphibian B&B guests. And the only way I'm getting that is by adding water plants and lilies and some nice ferns and flowers, lots of leaves and rotting wood to add that elegant amphibian je ne sais quoi. And of course, it'd be nice to have some guests. But in the meantime, the birds and the squirrels are loving it. And I'm going to report back if I get any frog or salamander action there. Hit me up in comments if you have any questions about starting your own vernal pool. For Science Update, I'm Bob Hirschon.